Hello everyone, Don here again with the next update on my 83 Mustang GT Restoration project. I was hoping to get on the Corsair this weekend, but I just wanted to get some of these last minute things finished on this car while I was getting all this welding done. I wanted to get this done so I don't have to do any more welding when I get back on this thing. Alright, so this week it'll be kind of a quick update. Doesn't look like much, but it did take a lot of time to do. I mentioned I was going to be putting these plates in, so I got those all cut, drilled, and welded. I don't know if you can tell, but there are welds through here, rosette welds they call them. It's welded through like a spot weld, and then they're tacked all the way around in multiple places. And same with the back. You see those a little easier. And then their corners are all welded down, and then some stitch welds across the bottom. So I got all 4 of those done. And that should pretty much be it for the inside of here. I just need to come in and maybe touch up some of these welds, knock them off with the flap sander on my angle grinder. The real work has been done underneath. Let me set this down. Excuse the allergies again. Damn thing's been crazy. This week has been another one of them 40 degree, 50 degree weeks all week long. Roll this around. So every day of this week except for Monday was a little warm. Tuesday was the nicest day, and then everything went to shit. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday and Sunday has been no higher than about 50 degrees. Alright, I'd mentioned that I was going to be making some subframe connectors, and this is what I come up with. This is a 2" by 2" square tubing, 16 gauge or 1/16 of an inch thick. That's the driver's side. You can see where it's welded into the front. Okay, and then here's the passenger side, all welded up. What I did is I strapped a piece of metal across here, piece of aluminum angle, and then I measured, put a piece of cardboard like right here on it, 2 inches, because that's the size of the tube. Put a piece of 2" cardboard on top of a piece of angle that was clamped to here, and it came out, and then I put a 1" spacer to hold it here. So then I took that strip of cardboard and I measured from the edge of it to the frame in multiple spots as I went along through here, and I just transferred those dimensions onto the piece of paper and cut the paper out. And then this right here is cut and bent, so this is kind of a U shape or V shape, and then it's welded across here and here. And then this is a 3/4 inch strip of 16 gauge that I cut and welded all along the edges. And as you can see, it follows the floor pan. I welded, this was all cut, and then this was welded on to the box. So now that gives me a really nice, clean, finished looking frame. Nothing hanging down. It's probably going to be the lowest profile subframe connectors you'll ever see. Some of the aftermarket units will put a brace in here. It's kind of a little angle bracelet that gets welded onto the 1x2 or 2x2 that some people would use for braces. It ties into the back seats to help hold them in place. But I've got the pieces inside holding them. So that's kind of what I did this week. I went and bought the tubing. I bought some 2x2. I got like 8 feet of that. I only needed 6, but they had a drop. So I just bought the whole thing, 1/16 inch thick. Then I bought that 2" strip, about 4 feet of that. That's 1/8 inch thick. And then I bought a piece of plate steel to make the last of the pieces. And that was just a drop they had laying around. That's an 1/8 inch plate also. And I need, maybe this little corner. That's a big chunk. So, but what that's going to be used for is to extend these points here. So I got to probably cut some of these lips off and extend this stuff out, tie it all in, and so I got 4 pieces to cut, and that is it for the welding of modifications that I want. Again, you can see the torque boxes in there from Team Z. Both sides all done. So, so that's it. So now all I just need to do is finish those little jobs. Maybe I'll tinker with that this week. Again, this week's going to be 50s right through Wednesday. It's raining out right now. It rained a little bit yesterday. But while I was out purchasing the metal, I just happened to find a company, local company, that sells plexiglass. So you can see there, I got a whole 4x8 sheet, 1/8 inch thick plexiglass. It's a place called Erie Industrial Plastics. I'd never heard of. A good reason, because they're back in the middle of no place on a dead-end street in town. But that's for the canopy. To physically make the canopy, you can see it's about 2 feet wide, and if you measure around over the top and back, it's about just under 4 feet, a little over 3 feet or so. So 2 foot by 4 foot piece, heated and stretched over that, should be enough. But I bought a whole sheet. If you was to go to Home Depot, they want like almost $140 for that sheet. I got that out the door for $85. So, and then they sell Delrin bar stock plastic. They sell ABS plastic, probably Lexan polycarbonate. They carry nylon, all kinds of stuff. It's a good place to keep in mind. But I bought that for making this. So if the first try doesn't go well, you know, I can get 4 tries out of that sheet. Hopefully it doesn't take more than 2. So that's kind of where this thing is. Now it's just a matter of cleaning it out. There's still a little bit of stuff right there I need to clean off. You can see some of that insulation that was glued on there. I gotta take the Scotch-Brite pads and knock that off. And then I need to get in here with a pressure washer and soap and degrease and clean this thing out really good. And then I can come in here and try to get some of this, a little bit of this surface rust that's remaining in here out. Like I said, I've got that stuff to clean up the rust converter, but I'll probably try a little more cleaning on that before I do that. But the idea is get this interior all cleaned out, washed out, dried out, primed up, and then get some epoxy primer in there. The outside, the rest of this is pretty much in the same condition. There's nothing really left to do. I just need to come in here and dress up these welds for these plates, grind those in flush, open that hole there up a little bit more so it matches these, because there's matches this one here. There's a piece of seal that hooks into that thing, snaps down in there. It seals the cowling, seals the engine or hood to the firewall there. It's a firewall seal for the hood. So, but this thing needs a good cleaning, and then I can get out my primer I bought and coat this. But that thing turned out really, really nice. As you can see, it follows the floor pan really, really nice, and it's flush with the back, and it comes in and ties up nicely into the front. So it's got a slight little drop there. I wanted to keep it at least 1 inch thick right there so it had some strength to it. And I tell you what, once this thing was cut open, that box was really, really flimsy. These are the pieces that were cut out of it. And there's no strength in this, you know, it twists real easy. But once I welded on that 3/4 inch lip, that stiffened her right up. So I think that is probably way stronger than just a piece of 1 inch by 2 inch wide welded under, because it's only attached there, maybe at the seat, and attached there. This continues basically the frame of the car, so that's going to be as strong as what is right there. So that's going to be it for all the reinforcements that I need to make, except for this isn't really a reinforcement. I just need to get the bolt holes lower to adjust for my instant center, the anti-squat line, to get the instant center in a particular spot in the anti-squat line. So this stuff needs just kind of cleaned up, washed down, and then primed. So I'm kind of at that point where it's just a matter of cleaning up and painting. So surprisingly, this weather has taken its sweet ass time clearing up. That canopy, I'm not even going to attempt to do that canopy until the temperature is over 70, 80 degrees, because taking the plexiglass out of the oven and then trying to stretch form it over that mold when it's only 70 degrees out, and that stuff's only 1/8 inch thick, it will cool real quick and you don't have a whole lot of time to try and form it. So the warmer it is in here or outside, the easier that job should go. But I do have other things to deal with, finish up. Still need to get another piece of aluminum to finish, get the trim tab made. I'll see if any of the guys in the local club have anything. So, but we're getting close. I'll get back on this thing now. So I was gonna try and get something done with this, but I really needed to I wanted to get this damn welding out of the way so I didn't have to come back to it. I mean, I've been welding. I've went through almost 2 tanks of argon. The tank I have left, it's down under 500 pounds, I think, right now. If I turned it on, yeah, 500 is clear down here, and that's about all the higher it is. They start at 2,000. And I'm only flowing it about 10 CFM with the nozzle I use. I use the number 4 cone. So 4, you double that and you'd run it about 8, but I run it about 10 because they get pretty warm and that helps cool it too. Again, there's my aluminum for the plane, and this is the chunk that's left over. It's got a burr on it, but that's only a 16th of an inch. So I got a piece of that left over. Then I went and bought some plate here for making the strips, the 3/4 inch wide. It's also 16 gauge, so it's the same thickness as that. And had a hell of a mess in here. I kind of did a quick sweep up to clean it up, but there's some residue still laying here. But this thing needs cleaned really good. So I got to, on a nice day when it ever clears up around here, I can pull all this stuff out. I can't pull the car out, but may have to throw a plastic tarp over there and just come in here with the pressure washer and do this thing up. I may have to clean these bare spots first, throw some primer or something on there to kind of help keep them from flash rusting after a good cleaning. I still got to take these off. Won't be using these. There's a aluminum trim that would snap on here, but on the GT they didn't use this. They just paint this whole section black, flat black, trim black. So that's where I'm at, folks. That's gonna be the updates for this week. Sorry it's not an update on the Corsair, but I'm starting. I got the plexiglass. That was a big thing. I've been looking for that stuff for months, trying to find some base that had it in a reasonable cost. Finally found it, so we'll be using that place again. So see, this week I may try and finish up those last pieces to get the welding done, and then when I get to working on this, I'm going to have to heave-ho the garage, pull everything outside, find some place to put all this that I won't be using, get it out of here, get some of this other stuff out that's under the car there, and the bumper, and move things around. Probably end up throwing this thing in the scrap if it's, because I've got the white one that was sitting on the floor over there. So, and there's the fenders and doors and hoods, so kind of got to get it cleaned up in here so I have some room to walk around the plane and finish up the little things. So, alright, well, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Again, like always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or concerns. I'll come through and answer them as I see fit. And appreciate everybody taking their time to watch these videos. And hopefully next week I'll have some news on that. Definitely try and get something started. Just a bunch of little things, but they'll take time. Alright, folks, I'm going to cut it off here. So again, thanks for everyone watching the videos, and stick around next week. I'll have another update for you. Hopefully the weather will warm up some. It's not going to get in 60s until the end of the week, I guess. So it's going to be a nicer week, but pretty rainy here this past week. All right, folks, this is Don and Don out.